Hello there. So today I want to talk about this set of watercolors right here. I'm sure you've seen this box before. I use it as a support to tilt my drawing board. So these colors came in this particular box. Um, these are organic handmade watercolors, all made from naturally occurring pigments. They were made in Karnataka, India. I purchased them by contacting the paint maker who makes these in small batches. Contact details are down in the description below. Now, I am super fascinated by anything that is DIY. I have tried making pigment myself once, but I've never made watercolor. So in this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to swatch these natural colors here on the left. And on the right, I am going to swatch what I think are equivalent commercially available colors. Once we are done with both sets of swatches, let's see what are the similarities and differences between the two. The first color I'm swatching is this buff eggshell type color. It's called Moon White by the maker. I absolutely love this color. It is my favorite from the set. So this color is derived from a soil-based pigment. The box says that it is soil collected from Kolar. A commercially available equivalent to this would be Buff Titanium by Daniel Smith. It was actually because I enjoyed using the Moon White that I purchased the Buff Titanium. I like the hue of the Moon White better, a lot better. But since Buff Titanium is a commercial color, it's a lot easier to mix with other colors. This next color is called Earthy Yellow. My note on the paper says yellow ochre, but in fact this isn't a ochre at all. It is a soil-based yellow. It's got a lovely warmth to it. Like it quite a lot. As a commercially available equivalent, I am using a yellow ochre by Shinhan, which is a opaque color. Looking back at it, I could have actually used a raw sienna. The next color is called Mud Red, and it is a pigment derived from soil collected from Tumkur. It's quite similar to burnt sienna, but obviously a lot more natural looking. It's also quite heavy on the brush. It's taking me some effort to get a substantial amount of paint on my brush. It's taking me a lot of scrubbing. But once I'm putting it down on the paper, I love how evenly it's spreading out. The commercial equivalent would obviously be burnt sienna. The one I am using is from White Nights. Historically, burnt sienna derives its name from soil pigment made from soil collected in Siena. Next up is indigo. Indigo is derived from the indigo plant. Also, the name indigo is derived from the name of my country, India. We've been using it for centuries for dyeing textile. Compared to all the soil pigments, this one is a lot easier to re-wet and flows a lot better too. As a commercial equivalent, I am using a 3 pigment indigo made by White Knights. On camera, it appears very similar to the natural indigo, but with my naked eyes, I can see that it is a tiny bit more green leaning. The last one on the left is called coal black. The name of the color I think explains its origin quite well. This one too is a bit difficult to get on the brush, but once it's on paper, it's a lovely textural color. Surprisingly neutral for a black, it doesn't lean cool or warm. In my regular set of commercial colors, I only have one black. It's a lamp black. Historically, lamp black used to be made from remnants of oil lamps. This lamp black is made by White Knights and it leans a little to the warmer side. Future Aniruddha here with a minor interruption. I decided to split this video into two parts. In the second part, I sketch two identical scenes. The first one I paint using our recently swatched commercially available watercolors. And the second one I paint using these natural handmade watercolors. If the video is already out, you will find a link in the corner here. I'm also going to use this as a mid video reminder for you to do all the YouTube things. So please like, subscribe, and share this video to any of your friends who might find it useful. Okay, back to past Aniruddha. So our swatches are now almost dry. Let's take a look at it before the light fades away. Also, let's take a closer look at the commercial paints as well. So while I was watching these, a couple of things came to mind. Firstly, I enjoyed how rich these colors are. Of course, they're not as bright as the commercial ones, but since they are natural pigments, they will lend your painting a very realistic color palette. I mean, I love how the coal black has a little bit of a shine to it because of the carbon content. Also, enjoy the granulation that they have. And speaking of granulation, since they are hand mulled, particles are very heavy. They don't flow into the wet wash. I was working at a 5 to 10 degree tilt and I had a very difficult time getting the paint to flow. Now that I touch it, I also want to mention that they have a nice texture to it. I mean, you can feel the particles. Last point I wanted to make was with regards to the re-wetting. They are significantly harder to re-wet compared to commercial paints. And what makes it even harder is this packaging. These pots, they don't quite work for me. I mean, they're nice for cute marketing, but not so much when you are taking paint from the container. I mean, they are hand poured, and because of that, some of them have this air gap in the middle. This one was the hardest to re-wet. I transferred it from the clay pot into this plastic half bag. And along with the paint, some of the clay has also gotten into the pan. So use these as a fun set of watercolors. But don't think of these, don't compare these two when you're using these. Use these as a different beast altogether and you will have a fun time.